Imagine a simple physical assessment that takes exactly 10 seconds of your time but offers a window into the next decade of your health. It might be the most important 10 seconds of your life, especially if you have passed the milestone of 80 years. This test is deceptively simple. Stand on one leg, just one leg, without holding on to any furniture, walls, or people for support. If you can hold that position with steady confidence for 10 seconds, you have reached a vital benchmark of physical resilience. However, if you find yourself wobbling, reaching out for a counter, or if your foot touches the floor after only a few seconds, a massive study of over 1,700 adults recently revealed a truth that should stop you in your tracks. Researchers from Brazil tracked a group of middle-aged and older adults for 7 years and published their findings in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. What they discovered sent shockwaves through the international medical community. People who failed this simple 10-second balance test had an 84% higher risk of death from any cause compared to those who passed. It is worth repeating because the weight of that statistic is immense, an 84% higher risk of mortality. This was not just a statistic about dying from a fall or a broken hip. It was a predictor of mortality from heart disease, cancer, and metabolic failure. This 10-second test serves as a canary in the coal mine for your overall systemic health, signaling how well your brain, nerves, and muscles are communicating. When that communication breaks down, it often reflects deeper issues within the cardiovascular or neurological systems. The message here is not one of doom, but of profound opportunity. Failing this test today is not a permanent sentence. Your balance is not a fixed trait like the color of your eyes, and your strength is not a resource that only declines. Even well into your 80 seconds and 90 seconds, the human body maintains a remarkable, almost miraculous ability to adapt, rewire, and improve through the process of neuroplasticity. This means your brain can literally form new connections to compensate for age-related changes. The same research teams that discovered the risks associated with poor balance have also uncovered exactly what you can do to reverse the trend. They found that specific, targeted interventions can dramatically improve your performance on this test in just weeks. You do not need a gym membership, expensive equipment, or hours of exhausting exercise. The science points to specific movements that target the exact biological systems that keep you upright, mobile, and independent. These movements focus on the 3 pillars of physical independence: your vestibular system, which acts as your internal GPS, your proprioception, which is your brain's ability to sense where your limbs are, and your lower body power, the raw strength required to catch yourself. Let us explore the first foundational movement you should integrate into your daily routine. This is often called the heel-to-toe walk or the tandem walk. Physical therapists frequently refer to this as the tightrope walk because of the way it challenges your center of gravity. This exercise does something unique that most other balance routines cannot. It trains what scientists call dynamic balance. While standing on one leg tests your static balance, the heel-to-toe walk tests your ability to remain stable while your body is in motion. This is the kind of balance you use every single day when you navigate your home or walk through a grocery store. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity tested over 600 adults between the ages of 70 and 90 and found that dynamic balance was actually a better predictor of who would fall within the next year. People who struggled with walking in a straight line were 31% more likely to experience a fall. To perform this effectively, find a clear hallway or a long room in your home with at least 15 feet of open space. Position yourself near a wall so that it can act as a safety backup, but try not to touch it unless you lose your balance. Stand tall, relax your shoulders, and take a deep breath. Step forward with your right foot, placing your heel directly in front of the toes of your left foot so they are touching. Pause to feel your weight shift, then step forward with your left foot, placing that heel directly in front of your right toes. A crucial insight from the University of Pittsburgh suggests that your gaze is the most important part of this exercise. Looking straight ahead at a fixed point, rather than down at your feet, improved balance test scores by 19% more over an 8-week period. This is because looking at your feet allows your visual system to take over, making your inner ear balance organs lazy. You want those organs to work hard to maintain your orientation. Start with 2 sets of 20 steps each day. After 2 weeks, you can try the Japanese progression, which involves slowly turning your head left and right while walking. Research shows this head movement improves balance twice as fast because it forces the brain to process conflicting sensory information while maintaining a straight path. Beyond just the inner ear, we must look at the structural foundation of your body. The next foundational movement addresses the single biggest reason older adults fail balance tests: leg weakness. This is the chair squat, often referred in clinical settings as the sit-to-stand movement. A landmark study in the journal Age and Aging followed over 3,000 adults for 6 years and found that those with weak leg strength were 2.4 times more likely to lose their independence. We often think balance is just about the brain, but it is deeply tied to muscle power. When you lift one foot for the 10-second test, your standing leg suddenly has to support 100% of your body weight. If that leg is weak, it creates a micro wobble that your brain interprets as an immediate threat, causing you to put your other foot down to save yourself. Without that leg strength, your brain simply doesn't trust your body to stay upright. To perform a chair squat properly, use a sturdy chair with a firm seat. Avoid soft couches that cause you to sink. Sit near the edge of the chair with your feet hip-width apart and cross your arms over your chest. This is vital because using your hands to push off the armrests cheats your leg muscles of the work they need to grow. Lean your trunk slightly forward, a position often called nose over toes. Push through your heels and stand up completely straight. Squeeze your glutes at the top, then slowly lower yourself back down. The slow part is the secret. Scientists call this the eccentric phase, and it is where the majority of muscle fiber recruitment happens. A study from Tufts University proved that adults with an average age of 82 who did this 3 times per week for 12 weeks increased their leg strength by an average of 41%. This extra strength provides a foundation of stability that makes standing on one leg feel effortless. Aim for 3 sets of 10 repetitions, 5 days a week. As you get stronger, you will find that getting in and out of cars or off low chairs becomes much easier, which directly feeds back into your overall confidence and mobility. The most critical movement of all is the direct practice of the single leg stance, but it must be done through a specific progression system. You cannot simply stand and hold a counter indefinitely. Your nervous system requires a progressive challenge to continue improving. If the challenge remains the same, your brain plateaus. A study from Harvard Medical School recruited adults over 75 who failed the 10-second test and put them through a targeted progression protocol. After 8 weeks, this group improved their balance scores by a staggering 43%. This works because of a principle in neuroscience called specificity of training. Your brain adapts specifically to the task you ask it to perform. If you want to stand on one leg, you must train that specific neurological loop. The progression moves through several distinct phases. You begin by standing at a kitchen counter with both hands for support, lifting one foot for 10 seconds. Once that becomes easy, you move to using only one hand, then eventually just the tips of your fingers. The real magic happens when you move to the freestand with no hands at all. To reach the master level, researchers suggest adding perturbation training, which involves slowly turning your head or even closing your eyes while standing on one leg. Closing your eyes removes the visual anchor and forces your brain to rely 100% on the sensors in your ankles and the fluid in your inner ear. This is difficult even for young athletes, but for a senior, it is the ultimate way to sharpen the nervous system. A study from the University of Illinois found that practicing eyes closed balance for just 10 minutes a week reduced fall risk by 38% over a year. It teaches your body to react to shifts in balance without needing to see them coming. The most important takeaway regarding this practice is that frequency beats duration. A meta-analysis of 23 balance studies found that practicing for 2 minutes 3 times a day was significantly more effective than practicing for 6 minutes once a day. Every time you start a session, you are waking up the neural pathways between your feet and your brain. You are reminding your nervous system how to stay centered. You can easily fit this into your day by habit stacking, standing on one leg while you brush your teeth, while the coffee is brewing, or during television commercials. These micro sessions ensure that your brain is constantly being challenged and refined throughout the day, rather than just during a single, dedicated workout. Furthermore, we must consider the ankles. Every time you perform these movements, you are strengthening the tiny stabilizer muscles around your ankle joints. In many older adults, these muscles become dormant because we tend to walk on flat, predictable surfaces. But these stabilizers are your first line of defense against a trip. When you step on an uneven sidewalk or a loose rug, these muscles must fire in milliseconds to keep you upright. By narrowing your base of support in the heel to toe walk and the single leg stance, you are forcing these muscles back into action. You are building a safety net that exists even when you aren't thinking about your balance. Ultimately, these exercises address the psychological component of aging as much as the physical. Many seniors suffer from a fear of falling, which causes them to walk with a stiff, hesitant gait. This guarded way of moving actually increases your risk of accidents because your body can't react fluidly to changes in the environment. By building strength and proving to yourself that you can hold your balance, you break this cycle of fear. You move from a state of fragility to a state of capability. That confidence is life-changing. It means you can go for walks without scanning the ground for every tiny crack, and you can play with grandchildren without worrying about a sudden move knocking you over. The original Brazilian study estimated that every additional second you can hold that one-legged stance reduces your mortality risk by approximately 6%. If you can move from a 3-second hold to a 10-second hold, you are significantly shifting your biological health profile. This isn't just about avoiding a fall. It's about the systemic health that a balanced, strong body represents. The 10-second test is not a judgment. It is a wake-up call and a roadmap to a longer, more independent life. It is never too late to start, and the cells in your body are ready to respond to the challenge today. Your body is designed to move, and even after 80, it has an incredible capacity for renewal. Think about the long-term impact of these simple changes. In just a few months of consistent, brief practice, your legs will feel more like pillars and less like reeds. Your gait will become more purposeful. The world around you will feel less threatening because you trust your body to navigate it. You are taking control of your longevity in a way that medicine alone cannot provide. These 3 exercises, the dynamic heel-to-toe walk, the strengthening chair squat, and the progressive single leg stance, form a complete toolkit for your physical independence. Before we conclude, I want you to take a moment to reflect on your current mobility. Do you feel hesitant when you stand up? Do you find yourself always looking for a handrail? These are simply signals that your pillars of independence need attention. Start with the easiest version of these movements today. If you can only do one chair squat, do one. If you can only stand on one leg for 2 seconds with both hands on the counter, do exactly that. The progress is cumulative. The 43% improvement seen in the Harvard study didn't happen overnight. It happened through the daily repetition of these exact steps. You have the power to change your trajectory. Now, we want to hear from you. Did you try the 10-second test during this video? What was your initial time? There is no shame in a low number, only in the decision not to improve it. Share your thoughts and your starting point in the comments. We are a community of people dedicated to staying active and independent, and we support one another in every small victory. If you found this information valuable, consider sharing it with someone you care about who might be struggling with their confidence or balance. Let's work together to make the 80 seconds and 90 seconds a time of strength and movement. Thank you for spending this time with us, and remember, every second you add to your balance is a second you are adding to your life. Stand tall, stay consistent, and we will see you in the next session as we continue this journey of health and longevity together.